So those who are ready, ow, I've just got bitten by the cat. Begin in child's pose. So we're going to open up in towards the hips, the knees, the quads. Get comfortable. If you wish to have a block underneath, a blanket underneath your knees. Simple without any props, of course. Or you can even start with an incline, with the luxury of having a cushion. Maybe on an incline. Again, if you got your props, use it. If not, yin can be done totally without your blocks. So a simple child's pose is absolutely fine. So again, depending how you feel, how creative you can get with your sandcastle sort of. So once you're ready, we'll all meet here. So we're going to start here for about 2-3 minutes, and then we'll slowly move down. So almost, yeah, a full body yin here. So get comfortable. And then for your first few breaths, maybe if you wish to settle, to have an open mouth exhale to sort of ground. Have your forehead. Just where to place the mic so that you can still hear me. So once you're comfortable, palms can be by your side. You can outstretch it in front of you. Again, depending on how your shoulders feel. So it feels good to have the elbows below, almost like a fingers, it's fine. Or again, you can bring your knees closer together, have your arms behind you. For the more closed version of child's pose, balasana, that's absolutely fine also. So getting settled, coming into stillness for your first yin. Just placing any thoughts and emotions or baggages that's not needed here. And just let yourself calm and slow down. Attention to your breath, to your body. Noticing how your chest expands, maybe against your cushion or the mat. And then sending your breath towards your back body here, noticing how your back feels. Lower your shoulders away from the ears. And sinking your hips towards your heels. So now focusing your attention on your breath. So taking really nice long inhale through your nose. And deep exhale through your mouth. And then once you're ready, you can seal up your mouth and breathe through your nose. Again in a deep and long, controlled breath. So with each inhale, see if you can bring it all the way down towards your hips. And as you exhale, draw it out all the way through your nose, along your back body here. And again on your exhale to see if you can sink the hips deeper. Let your chest be heavier. And just slowly let your body release any tension, any stress, anything else that you're holding in your body. Noticing also on your face, your jaw. Five more breaths here. So we're still continuing in this sort of this direction with the body facing down. So just spending some time sort of coming within, inside. We're going to move on to our belly, coming into Sphinx pose next. So finishing up your last breath here. And then on your next inhale, gently lifting up your forehead, moving nice and slow. You're going to slide whatever you have away. Maybe you won't need it for your things. You can always have a block in front. So moving nice and slow, transitioning down onto your belly. Things, so elbows or forearm parallel. You can keep the feet as wide. You can slide the elbow forward to decrease the angle so that you are more comfortable on the lower back. And then you can always use a block, placing your forehead down, high or low again, depending. You may want to keep the neck sort of in line with the spine. So maybe coming a bit lower with the forehead down. Again, you may find the right height. Maybe you can't get it quite right. You can play around with maybe 2 blocks to find the height. That maybe instead of going to your maximum, you decide to slide your elbow forward, or vice versa, that you feel your back needs a little bit more, then you can come up higher in towards Sphinx. So again, notice the shoulders. So for me, again, automatically my shoulder always cross up. So roll it down so that the neck is nice and long. You can always, after a minute, to come up higher if the back allows, or you can keep the chin parallel and holding here, or maybe just letting the chin coming to chest without the support of the block. And then maybe after a while to take one ear to one shoulder to stretch out the neck at the same time. So it's really up to you. You can really personalize the practice to what you need and what you feel like. So tuning in, listen to your body. Maybe you just enjoy with the chin or the forehead on your block. And then allow your pelvis, your lower back to melt down. So again, rechecking the shoulders. Mine has started to creep up again. And just bring a gentle expression onto your face. Appreciating this moment that you have for yourself on your mat. So maybe noticing that you are unable to really bring your breath towards your belly with the belly pressing against the floor. Try to direct it to the back, allowing the ribs to expand outwards through the back body here. And then as you exhale, see if you can sink your belly, your shoulders away, your lower back down. Again, at any point, if you wish to sort of deepen, to look for your age, you can always amplify, especially if you're feeling the plastic tissues sort of starting to open in the longer holes. And again, do what suits you. We've got 5 more breaths here, and then we'll move on to the next position. So we're still sort of staying on our belly. We're going to go through some shoulder opening and then countering that. Getting in towards the side body and towards our quads too. And before eventually coming back up to sit, getting in towards the hips, the hamstring, or hip flexors. So like I said, the whole body, yin. So at least now you know sort of the direction we're going with our practice today. Let's take your last inhale here. Breathing to the back, and as you exhale, let your chest, your belly, and shoulders ground. Now slowly on your next inhale, if you got your forehead down, gently lift back up. And then take anything again away. Open up your elbows nice and wide. Lower your forehead or your chin down. We're going to just windshield wiper. So bend the knees, bring the heels in towards your glutes, and then let the feet fall from side to side just to release out the lower back here. So no need to move fast, nice and gently, just to sort of release in towards the lower back here. Now slowly you're going to prop yourself back up so that you can extend your right arm long. So getting into the shoulders, you may bring a block back to rest your forehead or your head. And then extending the right palm facing down, long against your shoulders, and then turn your head to the left. You can stay here, or if you feel like it, bend your left knee and then either come into a bent knee, stag, if it's already right shoulder screaming to you. If you're more open, straighten out the legs and stag, or flipping the left foot all the way, or the left leg all the way behind you. Left palm can plant. So again, notice how your body feels. So if it says no, let's stay here. Like for mine, because my right lower back is really not happy with that twist. So I'm just going to stay exactly where I am with my knees bent and stack. And we're still opening up here in this external rotation of the shoulders, releasing down in towards your pecs, your deltoids. And that's absolutely fine. Close your eyes back down. Get comfortable as we're staying here for about, again, 1.5 minutes or 2. Your left palm can stay planted to support you, or if you want to get deeper, you can roll it behind you for a half bind. If that works well for that left shoulder head, you can always try. Again, if you don't try, you won't know it works. If you try and it doesn't, just come back to the previous position. Just continue with your deep breathing. Always come back to your breath once you come back into its stillness. Again, notice the rest of your body. If you're holding tension, face, shoulders, maybe you're crunching your teeth, or even in your fingers and your palms. So just taking this quiet time to be more self-aware, studying yourself, observing yourself, but never judging, accepting the way you are, your body is. And of course, if you find it within yourself to sort of improve, or trying to improve, that's absolutely fine too. So you can always come back to the mantra of I am enough, especially if you're getting through one of the days of self-doubt, self-blame, which of course we all do. So self-love, our theme on the Friday, taking care of yourself here on the yoga mat. We've got 3 more breaths here, and then we'll switch over And then we'll do a sort of a shoelace to counter balance this shoulder opening, and then we'll come to sort of a twist again along with the shoulder. So working towards the shoulder, slowly working in towards the inner thighs. Now slowly on your next inhale, if you're over the flip, bring your legs back, stack. And then if you got it, stack or bend, slowly straighten. And then let your belly fall back through center, changing sides. So really minimum movement. So keep your movement nice and small. And then extend your left arm out. So turn your head over to the right side. And again, choose whichever variation you prefer, keeping the knees bent. And of course, you don't have to stay exactly the same. So maybe this side, you don't have issue with any part of the body. The shoulders more open, so maybe you want to get deeper into it. Then of course, you can adopt another variation. You're still working in towards the shoulders. So maybe this side you feel more comfortable to sort of flip or maybe stack. So choose again which works for you. And then once you're settled, come back into calmness, back to your breath, noticing again your body. So body scan, attention to your breath. So at any point, if your mind starts to wander, draw your attention back to your breath. Just listen to the rhythm of your breathing. And you can always keep your inhale equal to your exhale length, or you can always extend your exhale slightly longer. That helps to work in towards your parasympathetic nervous system, which helps you to rest and restore, lowering your heart rate, blood pressure, etc., etc. So Yin is always a great opportunity to really get in towards the exhale, because usually in Yang we will equalize our inhale and exhales. And then again, sending your breath to where you're feeling the most sensation, whether it's your shoulders, or maybe you feel in the twist in your lower back. So after this, we're coming into shoelace, so we're sort of compressing into the shoulders after really opening here in this shoulder opening. And then we'll come in towards this half frog, where I'll give you the option of working into the twist, or if you want to work into the shoulders some more. Again, everybody will feel different. Your body will call out for a slightly different pose from somebody else's. So please choose which suits you right here, right now. So finishing with your last 3 breaths here. And then we'll change position. Again, moving slowly, with intention and with grace. Now slowly, you're going to rewind, releasing with your belly coming back through center, feeling any rebound in the shoulder, gently lift yourself up. And then not much of movement again, you're just going to move the block in front. This will be for your forehead. And then lifting yourself up, you're going to slide the right arm under, left arm on top. Walk them in opposite direction. We did it last week too. So really nice to release in towards the shoulder, the deltoid. Tug your toes under. Inhale to lift your hips and shift it forward slightly so that you can tighten in towards here. If you got no props, just allow your chin to come towards your bicep and have a nice stretch to the back of your head. So you don't necessarily need to have your block there. So my block is a bit too front. And just have a rest. So feel the extension, the compression. So I'm feeling plenty of sensation in my right shoulder, the deltoid, from all the plank, chaturangas, or maybe you've been carrying heavy loads, shopping, groceries, babies, toddlers, or maybe even a cat. So here you should feel a very nice opening in the back body, the space between your shoulder blades. So the best time to send your breath to this back body, maybe down all the way towards your sole, your toes facing up towards the ceiling. So we're not going to be here as long as we would, because we have another position to move into. Maybe you feel some tingling already on your fingertips because of the compression. We're just reducing blood flow, so once we relieve the rebound, fresh flow of blood, bring in oxygen and nutrients to sort of restore, repair. Give me 3 more breaths here, and then we will switch to the opposite side. Now slowly on your next inhale, lifting up your forehead, shift yourself slightly back so that you can unwind. Maybe flick out your palms because I've got major rebound on the right hand. Give the finger a flick and then changing sides. So remember, shift back so they've got pace to go forward. So this time left arm is going to slide under. Walk yourself as much as you can. And again, tuck your toes, lift up your hips, shift forward, nice and tight, and then lower your forehead down, coming back into stillness. Again, feel any difference on this side. And you're feeling on your lower back, you can always widen your feet behind to sort of take it out from your lower back, so that's more or less just slide back, bend not too much on the lower back. You want the sensation to concentrate there in the shoulder area, in the upper back, in the back body, shoulder blades. So feel that nice stretch over the top of the arm, past the armpit, over where your shoulder blades are. And then maybe if you've got no block and you've got your chin towards your chest, a nice stretch in the back of your neck. So the next one, we're still on our belly. So as I mentioned, I'll give you the option to either twist or to have another shoulder compression if it feels good and you want to continue without cutting blood supply to your fingertips. Because this one we're holding slightly shorter than the other poses, so if you like that, you can do that. So I'll give you the option. So finishing up your last 3 breaths here, taking the tingling now on your left. Maybe you don't feel. Again, each pose may feel and bring different sensation to different bodies. Now slowly on your next inhale, moving nice and slow, forehead first coming up, and then release your bind, maybe shift back. And then again, let the blood come back to your fingers, especially the left side. Feel that rebound, that tingling, that's really, I don't know, some people like it, some people don't. It just sort of pulsates. So again, you're going to have your block in front of you for your head. We are similar coming to what we did with the shoulder stretch, external rotation. The only thing is we're adding the legs coming into half frog. So you're bending the knees 90 degree. So again, if you got sensitive in the knee, you can bring a blankie or roll up your mat, bend the knee 90 degree to flex into the right foot. So here is where I give you 2 options. One option is right arm goes over for the same compression here. So you're twisting over, big twist over to the right. So you can always try it out and your body go Or you can go same side as the leg, which is left arm on the right, and you're still going to get into a nice stretch, a gentler one. So you lie your head down, look over towards the right side. So you can always start here. And maybe if you go, I'm not getting too much from this pose, you can stack your right palm on top of your left and then shift the right shoulder back. Or you can take the right arm over in towards a half bind, sort of increasing the sensation here in this half rock shoulder. Or you can take the first one that I said in the opposite side. So you can always try it. That's a big twist and it will feel very different from the other one. So I'm going for that nice twist here, or maybe it's not nice for you. It may be nice for me. Again, it will differ from person to person. So take your time to set up, and once you're set up, come into stillness. Again, left palm can press down to sort of deepen it. If you're on the other side and you decide not to stack your palm, then your right palm will be down to sort of roll the right shoulder back, stacking it on top of your left to deepen the sensation. So opposite side, compression twist. The other side is a slightly gentle twist in the opposite direction. Maybe not all the way up towards the shoulder blades, past your middle back. So again, you can try whichever works. No right or wrong, just what is just right for your body. Checking your shoulders, no tension, a gentle expression on your face. I'm losing blood flow again to my right hand. So whatever that comes, come back to your breath. And then we'll move it to the opposite side. And after that, we'll come back into a seat, come into forward fold, some hips. So moving down towards the lower body here, finishing the shoulders. Last 2 breaths here. So again, moving nice and slow from wherever you are. You're going to release, coming back through center. Losing blood flow to my right hand. So if you need to flick like me, get the blood back. And then slowly unwind. And then changing sides. So I'm not moving my blankie over, so I'm just going to fold my mat for my knees, or my knee, and then make sure it's 90 degree with the left foot flex. So again, choose which one. So if you decide to go with the right arm on the left, going in the same side, get settled. You can either bend the arm to sort of roll the left shoulder back. You can stack and roll the left shoulder back. So this is gentle opening. It doesn't mean you're not getting anything from it. You still do. Or the opposite side. So I'm going to go because that's what I did on the other side, and hopefully not cut out and as much blood supply to my left palm as the other side. So move slow. So it's a big twist. You should feel a nice stretch through the shoulders, down the mid back, all the way down towards the right wrist. So the right leg is straight, and then you're going to turn to look over to the right side. So right palm can plant to get deeper. Maybe not right at the beginning. You're just allowing the twist to happen. And then really send your breath down. Maybe you're feeling in the knee, the inner thigh. Maybe in the right hip. Or maybe definitely down the shoulders. The left shoulder. So breathing nice and deep. So suddenly my left hip having some feedback. So sometimes feedback comes right away. Sometimes feedback takes some time to sort of get up the chain before you sort of get it on the receiving end. Strong or small. Always use your exhale to guide you along. Softening where you can and deepening where you need it. So after this, we're just going to slowly make our way up to a seated position, working in towards the hamstring. And then eventually we'll come back down again to finish our class. So covering quite a bit of the body here. Last 3 breaths. So again, moving nice and slow out of your position, pressing up, relieving, and feel the rebound, the plenty here. Unbend your knees back. And if you wish at this point, if you want to windshield wiper, so lower down into Makarasana and then let your feet drop from side to side to sort of release any tension that you may have sort of built up again. Sometimes we just hold it and then slowly just push your way up, coming into a nice comfortable sit. So make sure you got all your props nearby so you don't have to reach it. We're going to come into a forward fold. So we're going to open up the legs here. So we're going to extend our right leg long. No wonder it's pressing against. No wonder it sounds weird. Left foot's going to in towards your inner thigh. Here you can generously bend. You can use blocks. You can use cushion, or if you don't have, you're just going to rest your palms. So you have the option of palms up if you're in an open mood and you want to share. If you want to close it down to keep it within, then you slowly let yourself round down. So this is yin. We don't have to have back straight. We want the shoulders to be away from the ears. And then you just can come down to where you are. So maybe at the starting, you're quite far. I'm feeling it in the lower back. You may feel it down the lower back past the sit bones down all the way, your right leg, your hamstring. So again, be gentle. So rather than just go straight in towards the end, your edge, and then having to shift out again, you're better off slowly descending down once you get the hamstring and the plastic tissues to sort of open up. You can always have a block to rest. See, so now it's really too far. Maybe later on. So I'm being gentle again with yourself. So maybe you have really open hamstring and you can go all the way down. Just sort of feel into it rather than go all the way. You really don't need to. We're just going to slowly work our way to a position that you're most comfortable with. So you will feel your body start to open, start to release. Again, as I mentioned, just go where your body leads. It will tell you when it's time to go deeper, and of course the feedback that you've gone too deep. So with Yin, we want to find the edge and take a step back. The reward will come not immediate, so not the instant gratification that we see in modern society. So sort of yoga preserve the good old days where things are slower, at a slower pace. You don't expect results straight away. You need to put in the time to sort of get to the finishing point. Again, just observing and just listen to the feedback. If the feedback comes that you can go a bit deeper, you can go a bit deeper. The front right foot is gently flexed, so you don't have to like really flex it all the way. It's still engaged, but gently, because it is a slower pace. You don't want to force or be hard on yourself. So slowly melting. And as you go deeper, maybe you notice the left hip, which you've forgotten is actually doing something. Is in an external rotation here, working in towards the left hip. While this right side, we are paying attention to the hamstring. Maybe noticing how it feels in the lower back, the stretch here. Passing the sit bones up towards your waist as you maybe allow yourself to go deeper in towards this fold. Again, checking in with your shoulders. Neck is long, shoulders heavy and away. So we are preparing the legs so that after this we're going to come in towards lizard pose, or they call it dragon in Yin. I was looking for the word. So that we're preparing the leg and getting ready for some hip opening. So yesterday, if you joined class, we did the hips, legs, hooray. So maybe you feel some sensation in hips already. So we're going to slowly get into that. So let's finish 3 more breaths here. And then we'll move over to the left side. So slowly moving out of this position. If you got your head down, blocks or props, slowly wind up. And then maybe scoop your leg in and then straighten out the left one nice and slow. So you're almost moving in -2 times rather than your normal speed. Again, notice how the left leg feels sitting up tall first, and then just go down to wherever the body allows at this point. So maybe you feel down the back again, maybe down the hamstring. Again, you can micro bend in towards the knee. And just sort of ease into it rather than just going down all the way. So sort of just being understanding here of how our muscles are still really core to really get into as a stretch. So of course the feedback will be and then maybe after a few breaths you can go deeper. Again, just see where your body takes you, where your breath will go along for the ride, and then really work in towards your exhale here, especially if you've got tight hamstring. So again, palms down if you prefer, or palms up. So palms down, where you keep to yourself, you may have the sort of the luxury to sort of ease off with just a little pressure on your hands. If you've got your palms up and you're draping, it's more difficult to push up because you're facing up. So this will allow you to sort of drape more. So you can always try and see what works. Again, everybody will have a preference. So absolutely fine to do this pose without your props. But if you've got it, use it. It's always a nice luxury to have the props. So I'm going to use my props. Again, remember to gently flex in towards that left foot and just get comfortable. Breath is still really steady. It's not gone up, even though we're slowly getting deeper here in towards the fold. So your breath is the most important. If it goes a bit shortened, or you could feel yourself sort of easing out of your deep breathing, then you've gone too deep. So ease out of it. So, imagine your practice is like a heart monitor with the beep, beep. It should stay the same height. The beep is not going to go up. It's steady throughout. So shoulders heavy. Face expression gentle as you melt your chest towards your thighs or onto your cushion. And again, notice your right hip. It's an external rotation, how it feels. Because we're going to work deeper in towards the hips next. Hip flexors. So dragon pose, or lizard as it's known as yang. So working in the hip flexor and the hips together. But of course before that, just allow yourself to melt in towards this forward fold. So again, a great pose, whether you're in this Janu Shirshasana, seated forward fold, or even drape over the desk if you're having sort of a stressful day and you could feel you're crunching, you're internalizing stress. Just take yourself in towards a forward fold, calm yourself with your breath, and that's the quickest way to sort of de-stress. Slowing down your heart rate through slowing down your breath and then lowering your blood pressure. So taking yoga in towards your daily life. Don't have to be an hour on the mat, even just a couple of minutes. You can practice, self-practice on your own. So we've got 3 more breaths here. And then the next pose will be as high as we will get on our knees and our foot. It's not quite all the way up, but at least partially. So dragon. On your next inhale, slowly lift up from wherever you are. Moving nice and slow. And then let's straighten out the right leg. Palms behind you and just give that leg a flat and allow just the blood to sort of flow through. And then getting ready to come on the knees. We're coming into lizard. So get to the pose however way you wish. You can come onto your knees first on the tabletop. And then maybe again padding the knees out on the left side, which is coming behind. You're going to step your right foot forward. And then maybe use your blocks, your cushions. And then stepping the right foot, making sure the knees stack over the ankle, pressing down, and the knees treading between your second and third toe. So you can stay up here. Maybe start off higher, as maybe the hips is screaming. It's like, no, I'm not starting that low. Back leg can be tug or untug again, depending on the knee. And then only when you feel ready, it may be easier to move the foot forward to lengthen the space between the knee and the back knee. So getting in towards the hip flexor here. So of course, if you're in the park and you don't have the luxury, then if you don't want to stay low, you can stay up high here with your hands interlocked on top of your thighs. We're just slowly opening first, and then we're moving to full dragon. So once you get the feedback, that right hip can allow you, you're going to walk your right foot palm in, walk your right foot out, keeping it still facing forward, knee treading forward. Maybe at this point you can lower a bit down. Blocks, maybe you can lower down your hands, or maybe lower down all the way down your elbow. So again, don't yank yourself right towards the deep end. Just slowly start at the baby end of the pool and then swim towards the deep end. And you don't have to necessarily go deep. So maybe you're like me, I'm being easy on myself because my hips feedback from yesterday's hips class. So I'm going to be gentle, staying up here nice. So we're not doing the twisted dragon, we're just staying here, keeping the knee in towards your elbow, or if you're low, towards your shoulders, pointing forward, working in towards the hips, so that after this, when we transition, we're coming into swan or / pigeon, working in towards the hips, and then we'll work out really fine. So here we're just holding for a shorter, because we're transitioning into swan, which is more or less the deeper version, getting into the hip here. And again, in swan, plenty variation that I'm going to give you. So choose the one that you prefer. Let's finish 3 more breaths here. And then we're coming back low. So shoulders away from the ears, so don't let it creep up to the no neck monster. So maybe you feel the hips sinking and it's opening up. Now slowly you're going to release, so walk the right foot back in so that you can slowly squirm it across towards the left, and then lowering the right knee down behind your right wrist, taking time to set up. So maybe you may have to use your blanket, move it, and then being here, making sure you are square. Once you're square, you're going to slowly lower down. So if you're happy here in sleeping swan, stay here. If you want to get a side body stretch, you can move over to the right side, so you're lengthening while still opening into hip flex and the right hip. So you can stack and then lower down here. You can do a twist, maybe a gentle one with the elbow down, looking over to the left. You can twist over to the opposite side also, working deeper into the hips, so right palm, and then looking to the right. So actually there's so many more, so maybe 1 Or if you want a quad stretch, that I think is too deep for my knee, so I'm not even going to show you. I'm just going to suggest. So one will be your favorite. Again, it's like a shop where you go in, you test it. If it doesn't work, choose another one. So again, there's no right or wrong, just which works for you. There'll be one that feels just right for you today. Maybe it's your shoulders bothering you, maybe it's the side body that you want to stretch out. It's absolutely fine. And then we'll move to the left and sort of have the last sort of 4 minutes in a nice twist on our back. And then we've gone through all our poses for today. Time flew. So notice the feedback from your hips. Maybe your hip flexor is the one screaming. And we've got about 3 more breaths here. So in combine the lizard and swan, we will have been here for about 2-3 minutes. So that's why we're not holding that long, because we're sort of combining, moving 2 poses. So you know where we're heading. We're heading for lizard next, or dragon in yin. So slowly on your next inhale, just come on towards your palms, and then maybe shifting back in towards the tabletop here, just to feel the rebound here. Move out your ankles again, moving anything that you need on the other side. And then maybe using your block however way you want. I'm going to move really slow like an old lady. Left foot's going to step forward in towards your lunge first, just to open up to the hips. So maybe you're here just to get into it. You may feel into the hip flexor in top of the pelvis crease, the hip crease. I usually do when I shift in towards a sort of an opening for hip flexor pose. So we sort of transition first. And of course, you're welcome to go straight into the lizard or dragon, but I like to sort of sink first before moving the left arm inside. So of course, if you're ready, you can scoot the left foot over and then bring your left hand inside, or your block on the inside. So my right hip flexor is feedbacking a lot, so I'm staying up slightly higher on my block. So again, doesn't mean your hip flexor feels okay one day, it's going to continue to feel good on another day. So always listen. It's always a constant feedback. And of course, you being observant, receiving it, and also acting upon it. So again, notice neck is nice and long. So allow your hips to open, your hip flexor to open as we prepare to move in towards dragon, and then twist, and then shavasana. So just a note, we just may overrun a little bit so that we can enjoy our twist properly. So finishing your last 2 breaths here, and then we're going to shift in towards your pigeon/swan pose. So noticing your body allowing to open. So swan is going to be deeper. So slowly, maybe reframe the left foot to allow it to scoot across over to the right side. Palms slowly come down, and then maybe lower the knee towards the left wrist. And then sliding your right leg back. So make sure the right leg is long behind you, back of the thigh, the calf and the foot is facing up. And then either swan twist, opposite side, stretch, pick. Or like I said, I'm not picking your poison, but picking your dessert would be better. So maybe somebody likes it like a cheesecake, you don't. So you're going for the strawberry shortcake. So making you hungry as well. Let's relax. So just holding here for about 10-15 breaths or so, and then we will come onto our back, and we will twist, just neutralize the spine, and then Shavasana, a short one. So notice your breath, notice your shoulders, your face. And again, notice any tension that you're still holding. Try your best to release it as we come towards the end of practice. Feeling the hip flexor, the hips releasing. 3 more breaths here. So notice after this, the transition, we're just going to sort of slide onto our back so you don't have to come back onto tabletop. So slowly, you're going to inhale, press yourself up so that you can sort of slide your hip over and then swing the left leg over to come onto your back. So we're just going to face the same way rather than flip it around. So maybe you want to move things out of the way. You don't need any props at this point of time. So come onto your back here. Make sure you got things out of the way. Maybe just a block if you wish to in this twist here. So let's hug the right knee in and just allow it to drop over to the left. Extend your right palm out, shoulder level. So here you have the option to straighten out the leg. That's why where the block comes in. You can position the block where your right foot lands. So this will get in towards your IT band here. So if that's what you prefer, stay there. Maybe one block's not enough and it's too much your IT band, 2 blocks is fine too. Keep the left leg straight, right leg is straight. You can micro bend into the knee and then working your right shoulder blade down. Maybe if it's okay for your neck to look over to the right fingertips. Left hand can sort of help to hold. So it doesn't matter if your leg is straight or bent, it works slightly differently. Right knee, you work deeper into a twist, nice compression and a massage for your intestinal organs here. If it's straight leg, you work into that right IT band, which may feel good after yesterday's hip class. So again, your option here. Once you arrive, come back to stillness. Breathe into that twist. Wherever you're feeling, whether it's your IT band, into your belly, your lower back, your waist, your shoulders here, or your neck. So like I mentioned, we're going to overrun by a bit, but let's finish up this yin together at least. Really breathe in towards the chest here. Last 3 breaths. So as you switch positions over to the opposite side, remember if you use your block, you may need it on the other side. So before you release, squeeze the right knee back in, maybe start moving your blocks to the opposite side that you need. And then switch side, left knee in, right leg out. So either the knee bend and then twist over to the other side, or you can always start off with the knee bend and see how it feels as you straighten it out. If the IT band screams at you, then of course it's telling you you've gone too deep. So maybe try straightening first. Make sure blocks under your ankle, your foot, and then extend your left palm up. And then make sure the right leg is straight, and then you're working the left shoulder blade down. So whichever version you're doing, breathe in towards the sensation. Maybe you're feeling it into the twists. So maybe you feel under your armpit in towards the pecs. Or if you've got the straight legs and you're feeling it in towards your IT band. Or you're feeling it in towards your lower back if you've got your knee bend and really pulling it up towards your chest. And then trying to work the left knee down towards the right side. Whichever it is, you're breathing still towards the left side of your body, the left ribs. Slowing everything down, making sure at this point, the last trace of tension slowly melting away. Last 3 breaths here. So slowly releasing, bringing your body back to center, hugging both knees in towards your chest as you place your back down. Sort of flatten out your back here, so neutralizing it. And then before extending in towards Shavasana, feet out wide, palms open up with your eyes closed. Make any little movement before really coming to stillness. Let your body be heavy. Having a body scan head to toe, noticing how your body feels. Release your really last remaining tension. Let it melt away, down your mat, away. And notice how your breath is coming back to its normal rhythm. No need to force, just letting it rise and fall. So if you're enjoying this relaxed stage you're in, stay exactly where you are. If you're ready to get on with the rest of the day, make your way up nice and slow. I know it's going to be a flip around to come back towards the front of the mat. Lower your head down towards your chest center, appreciating this moment you have and make for yourself for the week that passed and the week ahead that's going to come up. So I'd like to thank you for joining me today and have a wonderful weekend, and may I see you the following week. Namaste. Thank you, ladies. Ta-ta!